Thank you for joining us in these interesting times and for joining me through a means of technology that my project aims to protect. I am Christy Acuff, and if I had a nickel for every time I got asked what space had to do with environmental management, I would have this degree paid for. I don't blame you. I spent a whole year asking myself the same thing. As Haley has already mentioned, space is another need of science communication. You don't have to be a rocket scientist, Star Wars enthusiast, or aerospace engineer to understand the importance of Earth's space environment. And you're able to watch this video can be attributed to space technology. Want to know if it's supposed to rain this afternoon? Space technology. Need to know how long it'll take you to drive from Gunnison, Colorado to the beach? Any beach? Space technology. Want food to come from the restaurant, hot and fresh, straight to your doorstep? You're starting to get the picture. Space technologies. Like our oceans and our atmosphere, our orbits are suffering a tragedy of the commons, threatening all the technologies we just talked about. Everyone is reaping the benefits of these global commons, but no one is responsible for cleaning them up. As you can see in this clip from Sputnik on, nations have been placing satellites in orbit. Not just useful satellites, though. We have dropped bolts from repair missions, we have left our empty rocket fuel tanks, and sometimes not so empty, and we have blown up our dead satellites, causing thousands of pieces of debris moving faster than bullets fired from a gun, just to show that we can. Using our valuable orbits is becoming more common. Access to this ultimate high ground is getting less expensive and in some cases necessary for a nation's advancement. These terrestrial truths lead to what you see here, a drastic and continuing increase in the objects placed in our planet's orbital environment. In the beginning, we thought space was so big, there was no way leaving a little trash here, some litter there, a couple failed satellites, and some chipping paint would ever amount to damaging consequences. Boy, were we wrong. Satellites are designed to cruise around orbits that will allow them to do the job they were made to do. The location function on your device, weather reports, pictures of Earth, and communication signals all need different vantage points from the Earth's surface. When different satellites need the same path, they may operate a little too close for comfort. Keep in mind also that if these paths cross with other satellites doing their jobs, they run the risk of collision. You can imagine the shrapnel from a car accident. Colliding satellites are like that, except there is no tow truck, no sweep up, and no telling where all the tiny worthless pieces will cross paths with other vehicles. Accidents on orbital highways can cause not only first world problems, but can slow progress towards the sustainable development. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals outline worldwide targets that countries aim for to live a prosperous and sustainable life within the planet's resource limits. Space technologies have a big role to play in achieving many of these goals. Here, we will look at 5 out of the 17 SDGs. Number 2, Zero Hunger, is helped along by space technologies to allow for precision farming, meaning efficient farms that use less energy to produce more food. Number 6, clean water and sanitation allows us to watch reservoirs so we know when to release water and when to save it, depending on an area's needs. Number 13, climate action, is space technologies being used to watch remote areas for signs of change, like the NASA's GRACE mission that provides data on global water movement. Number 14 allows satellites that monitor the growth or decay of sensitive coral reefs that clue us into ocean health. Or we can spot illegal fishing operations that inflict damaging consequences on fragile aquatic populations. And finally, number 15, space technologies allow us to watch for changes in our landscape that alert us to deforestation practices, or watch as mine reclamation plans promote healthy regrowths of the surrounding ecosystems. To make sure we get to continue using our orbits and these wonderful space technologies, my project worked on the development of the Space Sustainability Rating. Space Sustainability Rating, or SSR, is being developed to help make sure those space highways stay less cluttered and keep the risk of collision low on our valuable orbits. It aims to rate missions placing objects in orbit on a scale of sustainability, taking into consideration things like built-in collision avoidance systems, ways to keep an eye on the object so it can be located at any time, and what happens once the object has fulfilled its purpose. I worked with the MIT Space-Enabled group seen in the center of this slide. My community sponsor, Dr. Danielle Wood at Space-Enabled, had me present my research first to the MIT team and then to the entire SSR team compiled of the agencies on this slide. Research dove into 3 sustainability rating systems here on Earth. LEED, a popular green building certification, STARS, a system that rates colleges and universities on their sustainability efforts, and SAFA, a tool developed by the UN for the food and agriculture sector. I wrote a 50-page document, 47 pages, thank you writing tutors Corinne and especially Lizzie, that contained a case study for each system and the details SSR may find helpful in its development process. Once the SSR is released for public use, it'll kind of go like this. My old middle school in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, is working with NASA on a satellite to monitor the forest regrowth from a wildfire in 2016. If this doesn't show how environmental management and space cross paths, I don't know what does. The SSR will ask questions like, can this satellite move out of the way of oncoming debris? Is the satellite easy to track so we know where it is and what it is close to? If the satellite doesn't work right, is there a plan to remove it from orbit on board? The mission will be rated according to the results of the assessment and showcased for its sustainable behaviors on orbit. Increase our dependency on this one-of-a-kind environment, the Space Sustainability Rating promotes behaviors that will keep our orbits clean, safe, accessible, and cost-effective. Not only are space technologies keeping us informed, allowing us to work together without being in the same room, but they provide us with the data we need to check on the health of our planet, inspire young minds, and collaborate on solutions for our wicked problems. The environment these advances take place in needs to be protected, lest our species slips back into the dark age of dying. I would like to say a special thanks to Dave Cappellucci, whose space industry experience was invaluable to my understanding of orbital behavior. I would also like to thank my mentor, Dr. Dave Ellerbach, and Dr. Jess Young for their advice and encouragement along my MEM journey. Thank you all, and I will take questions.